Nobody, even fellow Gangrel, listened to Xaviar the first time he spoke. It took marching into a convocation of the Camarilla's biggest players for other kindred to take notice of him. He spoke of interacting with one of the Antediluvians and seeing his entire coterie eaten alive by this mythological creature. He accused the Camarilla of perfidy against its members and casts aside his role as Gangrel Justicar. News travels slowly among the Gangrel, as the clan, with little hierarchy and lacking an effective communication network, slowly Gangrel followed Xaviar out of the Camarilla, some becoming Autarkists, while more ultimately joined the Anarchs. Gangrel now share a communal guilt for their initial disbelief of Xaviar's claims, and slow reactions to his proclamations, as he met final death soon after. Few know if the Camarilla or some other agency slew the mighty Gangrel, but all know their ancestor was wronged. Now they take up his torch and attempt to bring the Gangrel into truth's flickering light. Greetings, Kindred. I am Voivode Maquette, and welcome back to our World of Darkness. And tonight, we are going over the lore sheet Descendants of Xaviar, which is a Gangrel-specific lore sheet found in the Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition core book. This lore sheet touches on a very powerful character found in the World of Darkness. My first interaction with Xaviar was reading his event that took place at Table Rock in upstate New York in the Fall of Atlantis series, when Ramona accidentally put out a call, gaining all of the Gangrel in the area, who then fought for her against Leopold, and they all lost their lives, which was the tragic beginning to what happened to Xaviar in the long run, where he marched into the conclave room and spoke to the other Justicars that he had just battled an Antediluvian, and they all scoffed at him. Xaviar is probably one of the more tragic members of Clan Gangrel due to what happened to him, but he does give some very interesting advantages for being one of his descendants, and that tonight is what we are going to be looking at. Investing 1 dot into this lore sheet gets you Martyred Ancestor. Other Gangrel treat you with the respect they took too long to afford Xaviar. Despite any personal grievances, you can always find sanctuary with other Gangrel, if any are present in your current domain, at least until you insult them grievously. With them, you have 2 dots of status. This actually makes a lot of sense, considering the fact that the Gangrel were very much based off of like a Nordic hierarchy, like Vikings and stuff, because in those communities you were given the respect of your ancestors until you lost it. They believed that courage and nobility ran through the blood, and being embraced into Xaviar's lineage would truly bring you that respect from others of your clan. Being able to have a place to hide out or just seek sanctuary from the sun is highly useful to a kindred, even the Gangrel, who are known for their survivability. The fact that you get basically 2 dots in Gangrel clan status is very useful, in my opinion. Investing 2 dots into this lore sheet gets you where the bodies are buried. Xaviar's experiences with melding through the earth, blood and vitae, left a mark on his lineage. Gangrel of his line can make a resolve plus awareness test to detect whether a vampire has merged with the earth or lays torpid beneath the soil. The difficulty depends on the area you have to search. So simply by being part of Xaviar's lineage, you have the ability to just know when someone has melded with the earth or possibly just been buried in an area. You can tell if there is kindred in the soil. Depending on what difficulty your storyteller decides to put on it, this can be very useful when trying to track someone down or trying to locate a sleeping elder, possibly. Perhaps just checking an area before a new development breaks ground. This has various applications. Investing 3 dots into this lore sheet gets you Loyal Hound. You resisted the winds of change, remaining with the Camarilla despite your ancestors' actions. For your loyalty, the local Camarilla prince awarded you status, feeding rights, and territory amounting to 4 dots that you can distribute among domain, herd, and status. Non-Camarilla Gangrel despise you. And even Camarilla vampires and other clans pity your solitude. But you guarantee yourself a voice among the Primogen, should any rebel Gangrel pass through your domain. So investing 3 dots into this lore sheet effectively makes you a de facto Primogen among Clan Gangrel in the Camarilla. Gangrel who left the Camarilla don't trust you, but the Camarilla is offering you quite a bit of benefit of staying with them. There are reasons why a Gangrel might stay with the Camarilla. It could be the only way they know life to work. Knowing that the Camarilla might be able to hide you, perhaps just avoidant of the Sabbat. There's many reasons why a Gangrel might take this. But being a descendant of Xaviar and sticking with the organization that put him down, that eventually led to his death, I don't even really know how I feel about this. Like, I don't have any problem with Gangrel in the Camarilla, but like the idea of a descendant of Xaviar in the Camarilla, just, I don't know. There's actually just a part of me that just internally scoffs when I think about it. Investing 4 dots into this lore sheet gets you Monstrous Bat. Xaviar's preferred bestial form was once that of a bat, but following his encounter with the Antediluvian, he found his form capable of changing into a hybrid between human and bat. Once per story, when the moon is just right, you can take the same form, this man-sized bat, as an extra dot in all physical attributes, and can glide in the air from any height. Biting at this form adds +1 aggravated damage to mortals and vampires alike. So the Tzimisce used to call this Chiropian Marauder. This was basically a horrid form with bat qualities. But this is actually more of just a man-bat kind of situation. The fact that you get an additional 3 physical traits when everything is said and done, because you get an extra strength, an extra dexterity, and extra stamina, which increases your health levels, mind you, when you're in this form. Then you also deal extra aggravated damage. You do +1 aggravated with your bite. Bites deal 2 aggravated damage, which means now you're dealing 3 aggravated damage in a bite. That's just terrifying. All in all, just all the way around. Monstrous Bat is truly a Monstrous Bat form. And this talks about how he got this after dealing with the Antediluvian. After he fought Leopold, which was no Antediluvian, mind you, he was a neonate. I'm not even going to get into Leopold right now, because like Leopold is a video all by himself, if I ever actually get to him. But after he had the event at Table Rock with Clan Gangrel, he ended up running into the actual Gangrel Antediluvian, which changed him profoundly. And it seems to have changed his bloodline as well. Investing 5 dots into this lore sheet gets you experienced the Antediluvian. Xaviar was not the only Gangrel to sink into the ground and find himself inside his clan founder's vast inhuman form. You have done the same, and the experience changed you. You are now a little mad, likely suffering from paranoia or claustrophobia. Whenever you call your encounter to mind, you feel your veins rooted to the ground, connecting to every other Gangrel in the world. Once per story, you can sense any Gangrel's location and drain a thimbleful of vitae from them to reset your hunger level to 2. You must be touching open ground, not concrete, to use this ability. This one allows you to literally drain the blood from other Gangrel who might be in the area. If there's a Gangrel in the ground, for some reason, you have somehow found a way to feed from them. Now, in the tabletop, it doesn't give much information other than the fact that it lets you reset your hunger to 2. So you can't go anywhere below that. You're still going to have to feed from something else, a human or mass amount of animals or something, to bring you down to that 1 hunger. Definitely can't go to 0, because then that's murder of a human, at least. But in the LARP, it actually goes more into detail about how this will not cause you to be bloodbound, that the vampires that you are taking the blood from know that you're taking it, or know somebody's taking it, but it doesn't make them hungrier. Like, it takes just a little bit from everybody, almost like the Bahari ritual that allows you to seep blood from those around. But this takes directly from Clan Gangrel. Not really sure exactly how other Gangrel would feel about this if they found out it was you taking their blood. But on the other hand, Gangrel have a tendency to band together and feel like they need to strengthen the community, and that could be viewed on this one. I don't know. There's lots of different ways you could possibly take this, and it really depends on how your storyteller wants to run it. But I don't. Xaviar's Descendant, or Descendant of Xaviar lore sheet, this is probably out of the Descendant lore sheets, I like this one the best. But that's just because I feel I have a connection with Xaviar with how much I've tried to read up on him, and I used him as an NPC years ago. And I don't know, he's an interesting character all the way around. He's brutish, he's violent, he's mean, but he also is a Gangrel, and he's also a vampire, and he's also in a leadership position back then of a Justicar. So he doesn't get to go out and do much, technically. He's probably more politically minded than anything. Even if he's not, he's stuck doing it. No, I'm at this point in time, I'm rambling because I like Xaviar. I think he's such an interesting character. I am Voivode Maquette. This is Our World of Darkness, and thank you for joining me in this review of the lore sheet Descendant of Xaviars, which is Gangrel specific, and can be found in the Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition core book. Good evening.